What's up? 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 What is up? How are y'all doing tonight? Y'all, it is Wednesday. Y'all know what that means. We have got to talk about episode 5 of Moon Knight. Whoa. Okay. Well, this certainly was a deep episode, to say the least. My initial reaction, I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. This episode kind of hit hard. It hit very close to home for me personally. So I was able to connect with this probably a little bit more than I wanted to. Given a lot of the situations that happen. So for me, because this kind of rang home, it just hit me different. To be honest with you, it was actually kind of hard to rewatch. Just because some things were, again, for me, it was a little triggering. And I can totally understand if that was the case for some other people too. This was not like the most action-packed episode at all. But this is something that I've tried to forewarn people about, that when it comes to the character of Moon Knight, it's not all just action, beat 'em up, shoot 'em up, superhero stuff. It's about the psychology stuff too. And he has a multiple personality disorder, and that's what Moon Knight is. Moon Knight is just as psychological as it is with anything else. So we just got a heavy dose of what makes Moon Knight, or in other words, actually, what makes Mark Mark and Steven, and so on and so forth. But I did enjoy the episode for what it was. I don't think we've gotten an episode like this in anything Marvel's given us. The closest might be WandaVision, but she ain't go get no real help. She needed some counseling, some therapy, but she ain't go get that. But you know what? Let me see. First and foremost, shout out to the replay gang. I want to say what's up to y'all. Appreciate y'all always hanging out and catching the streams whenever y'all get a chance. But we got to do some quick shout outs to see who's in the building tonight. By the way, if for whatever reason you watching this at this point and you don't know what's going on, you ain't watched the episode, please be advised that this is a huge spoiler alert. We're gonna talk spoilers here, so if you haven't seen the episode, I'd highly encourage that you go watch it and then come on back and get fed with all the information and breakdowns. And we got listen, there's a lot of stuff to break down and talk about. But anyway, let's get to some quick shout outs to see who's in the building and who joined us tonight. We got Shaul here. Come on now, what's going on? Thank you so much for making it out. Rims, hopefully, thank you so much, Rims, for making it. Appreciate you for the mod squad and the great job that y'all are continuing to do each and every time we get on here. By the way, I hope Papa Rims is all good. Thank you so much. Get Aloha, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Hey, are you in Hawaii? I forget if you told me if you and your husband are in Hawaii. Because if y'all are, can y'all put like I don't know, like a sign out there saying no Ezra's allowed, no Ezra Miller's allowed? Just if you're in Hawaii, just let me know if you're in Hawaii. I don't know if y'all are in Hawaii or not, but if you are, please put some stay away Ezra Miller signs, because they a mess. They a mess. But anyway, that's for another time. Uh let's see, who else do we have? Hold on. Let me get to uh-oh. I done scrolled way too far. Hold on, I'm coming back. There we go. Where we at? There we go. Okay. Dex of Reason. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Thank you so much for making it. J Mart, what's up? What's up? Thank you so much for making it. Come on now. Top vet, top supporter in the building. Marcy is here, y'all. Thank you, ma'am, for being here and always supporting the channel the way that you do. Always appreciated, ma'am. Naturally, Deej, what's going on? Thank you so much for making it out. Let's see. There's gonna be a lot of reflections for this one. I know that's for sure. Kristen Pratt, come on now. Top mod squad, top vet in the building. Thank you so much for making it. Joey's here, y'all. What is going on, Joey? Appreciate you. Let's see. I saw somebody else, Joy Gilling. Come on now. We got the vets in here. What's going on, Joy? How are you? Kimmy J. There we go. Kimmy J is here. Y'all, what is going on? Minecraft Girl is back here. Thank you so much. Dusty, hello. Thank you for making it out tonight. We definitely going to be talking about this. Donna, hello. What is going on? Thank you for making it out. Bucko, I see you. What is up? Let's see. Wait. I saw some others. Let me grab my man Jay Montgomery. What is going on? Haven't seen it yet. Okay, catches like, hey, that's all right. Keep Wanda's name out your mouth until it. What? First of all, Wanda is a whole like criminal. Come on, man. Don't look, hey man. Don't be out here trying to boo up Prison Bay. Okay, Wanda needs to be locked up. Okay, lock her up. Don't do that, bro. Don't do it. Don't go for Prison Bay. Don't do it. Boy, somebody always want to save him. Don't save her. She don't want to be saved. Come on now. We got Miss Harper. What's going on, Miss Harper? Good to see you. Thank you so much. Let's see. Are you going to be here tonight? I'm praying to finish it. Okay, so maybe you catching us on the replay. If you are, all good. But we know you got your work to do. Handle your business, ma'am. Thank you so much. Regardless, Cynthia Charles is here. What is going on? Thank you so much, and happy Wednesday to you too. Let's see. Shauna's here. What is up? Thank you so much for making it out. Who else? I saw some other faces. I know people coming in a little late. That's all good. We're gonna get started in just a little bit. Carbro, hello. How are you, ma'am? Good to see you as always. Let's see. My man Davion is here. What is going on, brother? Wild is yeah, that's one way to describe it. Kristen, hello. Thank you for making it out. There we go. My man Derek Gaines, top supporter, top vet in the building. Thank you so much. Let's see. The Ninja, what is going on? Appreciate you. Who did I see? Oh, okay, there we go. Trouble Clef, thank you for making it out. Pamela, I see you. Thank you. Let's see. My man Angel Gonzalez is here, another top vet and top mod squad. Let's go. Grand Madam, hello. Thank you for making it out tonight. My man Eric Shaw, what is going on? Man, I don't know. It might. I mean, you gonna catch it on the replay. That's all good, but it might be a therapy. This whole episode was therapy. I know it was for me. Brian, what is going on? Thank you so much for making it out tonight. Let's see who else we have. I saw some other names. Oh, we got my man Alejandro. What's going on? Hello. Let's see, SJ Evans. Hello, vet. How are you? Another back-to-back vet with the mod squad. Come on and leave. How are you? Thank you for making it. Let's see, Terrence. I see you, brother. What's going on, man? Let's see. Who else do I see? Nope. We got that. Terra West braid oil. Yeah, okay. Oh, good one. That's a good one. But by the way, I feel some kind of way. Why Tara got the braids and the hold on, let me pull up this picture real quick. I know we ain't getting started, but why she gotta have hold on, where's the better picture? Why she got the African braids from Africa, but she gotta have a European accent? Where's Dr. Umar? I don't know. Somebody called Dr. Umar on Terra. It just don't sit. Look, hey, remember what you just saw there? That's what they were gonna do. That's what they were gonna do to Black Panther. You was about to have Black Panther, all these kings and queens of Africa. Remember, we was kings. All them kings and queens was about to have English accents. Ooh, don't let me get started with it. Thank you, Chadwick. Woo! Anyway. Nelson V, what is going on, brother? Good to see you. My man Lionel's here, y'all. What's going on? Caravan, what's going on? Carvan, what is going on? Thank you so much for making it out. Corey, I see you, brother. Good to see you as well. Let's see. Lisa, hello. Thank you for making it. Tyra, hello, ma'am. Thank you so much. Damien, what's going on? I see you. IMAX, what's going on? Thank you for making it out. Let's see. Wait, do I see somebody else? Yes, I do. Kiki West is here, y'all. What is going on? Thank you so much for making it out. Gary, what's up? My man Sean is here, y'all. What is going on, brother? Let's see. No Limit Soldiers here, y'all. What's going on? Andrew, hello. And shout out to everybody that has made it out tonight. Definitely appreciate y'all for making it out. Let's see, and we got our very first comment of the night. Let's see, Terrawet's braid oil. Thank you. Hello, E-Man, here for a few for Kobe's bond. Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm gonna give y'all a nice man. I'm gonna give y'all a Kobe update on Friday because y'all dog. Y'all gonna have to come and get y'all dog because Kobe it just never ceases to amaze me. This little ninja just come up with some. Just somebody remind me in case I forget. Remind me on Friday, the start of the chat, to give y'all a little update on Kobe because he trying it. He tried it. Oh, he tried it. Kiki West, thank you. I'm a binge watch when it's over. I'm being cheap right now with these subscriptions. You know what? I'm not even mad at that. I'm not even mad at that. All these subscriptions and stuff, all these streaming platforms, they cost. And I told you, man, y'all don't listen to me. That's okay. I told y'all this from the jump. I told y'all at one point, while Netflix was the only game in town, after Disney Plus, HBO Max, Paramount, Apple, Amazon, all that stuff was going to be more expensive damn near than freaking cable. We going to go back to cable real soon. Somebody's gonna come up with a cable streaming bundle package, and that's what's gonna happen. Now, in a perfect world, and I know I'm sidetracking a little bit. In a perfect world, what I would personally like is I just want to be able to subscribe to the shows that I want to see. I don't care what network they come from. If I only want 2 or 3 from Disney and 1 or 2 from Apple and 1 from Amazon and 1 from HBO, I want to pay for just that. I want to pay for what I consume a la carte. I don't want to do all this, like, buy this whole thing and I got to subscribe to this whole network and I only watch 1 show. Why? That's stupid. That's why I left cable, because cable was dumb. I'm paying all this money just to watch 3 channels? 3 channels. I don't even have time to watch TV on cable. Man, see, now I'm getting mad. I'm sorry. Let me come back. I'm sorry. Thank you, Kiki. Appreciate you. Yolanda, thank you so much. Awesome how Mark kept trying to protect Steven from the truth. Alternatively, Mark was protecting himself because he needed Steven to not know the truth. Yes, this is so true. You know what? Here's the thing. I think we need to understand that Mark is a liar. Like, Mark lies to everybody. Okay. Mark lied to Layla. You know, he lies via omission, as in hiding the truth. Keep in mind, he lied to her about what did he lie to her about? He lied to her about her father, right? He didn't tell her about her father, and clearly he lied to Steven, as you mentioned, about their past and everything. He lied to him about basically making him up, you know, and all that. So that was definitely something that Mark is doing what he thinks is best, but he's really, like you mentioned, I do think it's a little selfish or self-centered, because he's not really protecting Steven. He's really protecting him because Steven is Mark's protection from all the trauma. So by lying to Steven, it's really just to protect him, his existence, essentially, to protect Steven's existence so that Mark doesn't have to deal with certain things. But yes, very, very good point. Thank you so much for that, Yolanda. I appreciate you. Let's see. Jason, what you got? Dessert before dinner, EFAM for life. I appreciate that. I hope this whole thing is dessert. That's great. Man, dessert sound great right about now. I got some sweet potato pie. I need to go get me a slice. Now that you met that, man, y'all be getting me hungry sometimes. Lee, thank you so much. This was very triggering for me as well. Luckily, I had an appointment with my therapist today. I usually rewatch, and I'm honestly not sure if I can. Listen, I still have stuff I need to work out. Matter of fact, I'm glad you mentioned that, because it might be time for me to reactivate my therapist, because we kind of like stopped during the pandemic. And it might be time to go back, because this episode re-triggered a bunch of traumatic stuff for me that, you know, I was like, oh, I thought that was long and buried. I thought that was done with, but the fact that it still can affect you just by seeing it happen to other people, yikes. So yeah, I'm with you. And by the way, please, whoever's out there, normalize therapy. Go ahead and get it. It ain't gonna do nothing but help you. And therapy has never been a negative thing. It is only going to help you process things that you don't know how to process. And trust me, everybody has something to process. So please go ahead and get you a little bit of therapy. Just try one. Hey, look, just try one session. Find you one little counselor, one little session, and just go talk to them. Find out how addictive it is to have someone there that will listen to you, listen to your problems, and they're not there to argue with you. They on your side. They want to help you. Oh man, that's what we usually want our friends and our family. We want them to be our therapist, but they don't know what they talking about either because they just as jacked up. But that person who is a professional, they're there for you. Anyway, that's your public. That's your PSA. Go get some therapy. Let's see. Nelson V, thank you so much. What's up, E-Man? Heavy episode, very heavy. Marvel did a great job with the psychological aspect of Moon Knight. Third Alter is a psychopath and two souls of Mark and Steven. So, just in case y'all didn't know, we've seen the third personality. Like, we saw him straight up. They didn't even hide it. Let me show you. There he is right there. That is the third personality. That is, well, we'll call him Jake for now, because in the comics, the third personality was Jake. How do we know that this is Jake? Well, first, look at his nose. His nose is bloodied up. If I don't have the comic panel right now, but in the comic, that's when we also saw Jake come out, was with that. Now, if you go back to that scene, and it's funny how they threw this right in the beginning to throw everyone off. Because last time we saw them, remember, Mark was getting beat up. He was getting handled because he was trying to escape. So we're assuming through this fancy editing that was Mark. Nah, it ain't Mark. Listen to how he talks. He talks very different. The second he gets up and he wants to get out, he got a whole slightly different accent than Mark. And notice this, quick to violence. Very, very quick to violence. Okay, that is Jake right there. Just in case y'all missed it, that is Jake. So yes, we finally got to, I mean, we've seen Jake before in little bits, but this was probably the most clear viewing of him. And later on, I'm gonna tell y'all my theory. I was gonna make this a video, but I'll share it with y'all first. I'll tell you, we got Jake's origin story too, and some of y'all probably missed it. I'll tell y'all that a little later. But yes, thank you so much for that, Nelson. Appreciate you. Let's see. Oh, Bon Hassan, what's going on? All the way from the Far East. What's going on, AE man and E fam? I'm emotionally wrecked. What a powerful episode. Yes. I listen. I told y'all this was gonna be a tough. I didn't think they was gonna get this one. I knew they were gonna go psychological. I knew that there was some childhood trauma. By the way, in the comics, it was the dad that was the abuser. So they did the role. They switched it up for the MCU, which I can appreciate. But it's man, this was tough. This was tough. Aqua, thank you so much. Hello. Right back to you. Thank you for that so much. Let's see. Kristen Pratt, what's going on? This message brought to you by Albanese Gummies and the campaign for the innocent and sweet free conchu. Hit them likes. Thank you so. Here go another one that want that prison bay. See, y'all gonna get messed up. Y'all gonna let them prison bays mess y'all up, okay? Y'all, man, listen, okay, y'all go ahead and play around if you want to, okay? Acting like y'all ain't seen First 48 and all that, man, whatever. Anyway, thank you for that, man. Appreciate you. My house up back at it. Thank you so much. Khonshu and Terawet should have Egyptian Arabic accents, not British. Other than that, I love everything about Moon Knight. Best MCU show thus far. My goodness. Now that is some big talk. Now, I still need to wait. I still need to wait and see if I need to see what they do in episode 6. Episode 6 needs to go off with a bang for me to get the like right now. I would say that Moon Knight's still in my top 4. It's in my top 4, top 5 right now. So what is that, like out of 6, 7 shows? But it has, like I said before, it has the potential. So I'm gonna wait to see how they wrap it up. Time's ticking though. Time is ticking because keep in mind, this is a limited series. This is not a series that they said, "Oh, we trying to have a season 2 or 3 or 4." They didn't say that. They said, "No, we only got 6 episodes. Tell Moon Knight's story. That's it." So I really am curious to see how they're doing this. Um, and gonna wrap everything up by the 6th episode. We'll see. But thank you for that, Maha. Appreciate you. Teramato, what you got? We in here. Recast T'Challa. You already know. Thank you so much for that. Alejandro's in here, y'all. Hey, man, did she mention the ancestral plane connection to Black Panther? Yes, actually, she did. So this is a very interesting concept, right? So what we have here, and I kind of talked about this. I don't know if y'all read my Screen Rant article, or if we talked about this before, but I wrote an article about how Hathor, the remember the Native American avatar that helped Mark go find the amulet and go find all the tomb and everything. Her Egyptian goddess is also called Sekhmet, and Sekhmet works with Bast in terms of ushering people in the afterlife. And we got a hint of that in Captain America Civil War, where T'Challa's father, died. And it came from T'Challa himself, where he said, "In my country, death is not the end. Bast and Sekhmet will usher you into basically into the ancestral plane, right? So they are the guides for that plane. Whereas here for the Field of Reeds, it's Terouette. She is the guide for people going to the Field of Reeds. So what does that mean? Yes, not only are all these gods connected, right? Like, I mean, they all come from like Ra, I believe. But they also opened up something very interesting for the MCU, which is there are multiple afterlives, right? But here's the interesting thing, and I'm gonna throw this little theory out here, but this is just me pontificating right now. What's interesting about this is it's they're kind of like in a different place, but at the same time, it's still all in that person's mind. What does that mean? So she said that it was basically um untethered consciousness. So it's like your consciousness, your mind, but it's untethered probably from the physical world, right? And because there are so many different untethered consciousnesses, my belief in interpreting what they said was that it all depends on the believer, right? It all depends on the person. What do I mean? So, Marvel has already shown us different afterlives. You already have the ancestral plane with Wakanda. That's the whole field and everything. You now have the Field of Reeds, with the Egyptian beliefs. But you also have Valhalla, right? With Thor and all of them. Like, that's where the Asgardians go in their afterlife. Um, so like you have these different places, but notice that these things are rooted in whoever or whatever they believe in, right? So this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that, like, let's just say in the MCU, if you're Ghost Rider, right? Now I haven't done all my research on this, so I'd have to verify. But like, if you were a Christian or if you belong to one of the Abrahamic faiths or whatever, and you believed in heaven or hell, then those would be your plane for the afterlife. Because again, it's a different consciousness depending on the person that is doing the transition. So I guess in a sense, Marvel's basically saying um everybody can go wherever their particular faith dictates that they should go. So if you're a bad person and you're a Christian, okay, you're gonna go to your hell or whatever construct of hell you believe in. If you're Asgardian, you're gonna go to Valhalla, and so on and so forth. So I thought that was fascinating. That they kind of like introduced that. But like even the psych ward, as Harrow was talking about, I think that's more of like a purgatory. That's really just a purgatory type of place where people can figure stuff out, balance their scales, and then make their transition. So, yes, there's a deep connection here with Black Panther, but it goes way deeper for the MCU at large. And here's the other scary thing: if my theory is true that it is based on the person's belief system, where do the atheists go? Where do the agnostics go? Are they stuck in that purgatory area? Because I'm what I'm trying to figure out. What I'm trying to figure out is, where did Tony Stark go? Because I don't think Tony Stark expressed any religious views in the MCU. I haven't seen that in my research. I do need to go back and look at that. But if you don't believe in nothing, and if it is true that your belief dictates where you go in the afterlife in the MCU, maybe you're just done and that's it. I don't know. But anyway, Alejandro, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate your comment there. What we got? My man, Just My Opinion Reviews. What's going on, brother? Rise and live again as my fist of vengeance, as my Moon Knight. Oh my god, that origin scene was fire. Dopest episode of the series. Near perfect example for the whack daddy. Great acting. Oscar Isaac rules. Please recast Iron Fist. Thank you so much for that, sir. I appreciate you. Yes, this is what I like, the fact that Marvel is finding new ways to give us origin stories. I think I actually got that one too here. But this was fantastic. Not only did we get to see Mark, hold on, let me get this. Let me break this down. So not only did we get to see Mark on the brink of death, and this is all comic accurate at this point. Like, they got all of this straight from the comics, where Mark got betrayed by his partner. Here we see all the bodies, unfortunately, that were laid out by Bushman. By the way, Bushman is Mark's partner, as he mentioned, who in the comics ends up being like his arch nemesis, right? And one of the things, actually, I think it was either the writer or director, somebody attached to Moon Knight. They did a interview, and they mentioned that Bushman was supposed to be, at least in the comics, he's supposed to be like the main villain, right? But they were like, we can't do that because Bushman is too similar to Killmonger, and black mercenary, just nuts. Okay, so because of his similarities to Killmonger, they were like, nah, we can't do that with him, and that's why we got Arthur Harrow instead. So that was kind of interesting. Now, we obviously, since they brought him up here, I'm pretty sure that that Bushman will show up somewhere. But yes, this is the perfect little origin for him. We got him on the brink of death. He was about to take his own life. But then Khonshu was like, and he was like, nah, son, let me give you these young Moon Knight powers, son. We got you. And healed him up real good and gave him the power of the moon. Boy, that was all it took. So yes, he definitely got that power up, that little upgrade real fast. And it was dope because this show did not have to go waste an entire couple of episodes just to give us an entire origin. You can if you want. If you want. So yes, that was definitely an interesting origin. And I appreciate you, sir. Y'all make sure y'all go follow this man too, by the way. He is in my favorite channels list. That is Brandon K. Avery. If y'all want reviews, breakdowns, reactions, all that good stuff, y'all go follow him and subscribe as well. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Nelson V. Did Steven imbalance the scale? So great question, Nelson. I don't think he imbalanced it. I think he actually balanced it. But here's the thing. So what you're referring to, do we have it here? Okay, so we saw Tyrowet go ahead and take basically both of their hearts out. And what ended up happening when they put it on the scale, and with the scale, if the scale balances out, then you get to go to, the field of reeds or wherever your destination is, right? But the problem was the fact that, as Terowet said, both of the hearts are incomplete. Now, at first, I was thinking, well, they're incomplete because you don't need two hearts, you need all three hearts, right? Maybe because if there is a third personality, that would balance everything out. But it turns out once we got closer to the end, that was not the case. They didn't need the third heart. They just needed, unfortunately, Steven met his demise, and got tossed overboard, and he's now frozen. Now I'm assuming this means he's dead. He's what do they call this? The duat. So Steven is no more, but because Steven was gone, the scale ended up balancing right back. But why? So I have two theories about this. One is because the incompleteness of the hearts have to do with Mark and his unresolved trauma. Now, if it is true that the psych ward is kind of like a purgatory, purgatory usually, whether at least in the Christian sense, usually is a in between place that would determine that would be a place where you can reconcile things and you would figure out, okay, yeah, I'm going to heaven, or no, I'm going to the other place. And I think for Mark, his unresolved trauma is the fact that he just never dealt with his mother's passing. He never dealt with, he never told Steven that he was made up, because keep in mind, he lied to Steven before. Remember in episode, what was that, 1 or 2, where he was like, hey, Steven, after we done with all this, I'll be done, and you can have the body and I'll be gone. Well, Mark, you the main person though. You can't be gone. Steven is the made up one, right? So I think Steven's heart was incomplete because he's not a real person. Steven was always going to be incomplete. So that's why that was an issue. But because Steven was incomplete, and because Steven's incompleteness is part of his existence, Steven's existence is a manifestation of Mark's incompleteness, right? So once Steven is either resolved or gone, which in this case he's gone, that balanced out the scale. Now, I also thought one other thing about this was it was kind of interesting because this looked like it paralleled another theme that we saw in Avengers Endgame with Black Widow, a soul for a soul. It was almost like both of y'all can't go through. You got one of y'all gonna have to go in order to let the other one through. And that, again, that was just kind of like visually what I was seeing, like the fact that he took the dive, he took the fall, and then because of his sacrifice, that enabled Mark to go through. But I don't know if I'm overthinking it or not, but that was just something that kind of came to my mind. But I think at the end of the day, Mark's reconciliation with himself internally and with Steven are exactly what caused the scales to balance out. But thank you so much for that, Nelson. Appreciate you. Didier, what you got? So I guess there's no third personality. Hell yeah, there's a third personality. I told you, it's an okie doke. Don't fall for it. Third personality is right here. And the reason why I'm saying that is the third personality, I'm sorry, I forgot to prove this later. Remember when he woke up after his Moon Knight origin, and he came back here. Uh-oh. Y'all see the difference, right? This is in the beginning, after he got beat up and everything. And this is right after that. Now, what does that tell you? Clearly, that is two different manifestations of Mark. This, I believe, is Mark, but this is got to be Jake because of his nose, the bruises and everything. So what does that mean? I don't know. I think it means Mark is in his own little purgatory, and so is Jake. And for all we know, Steven might be having his own little purgatory too. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But clearly, two different things are happening right now. And I think the worlds are starting to collide because the moment, remember, after he got held up, they jacked him with whatever serum or whatever to put him to sleep. And Mark remembered that. He was like, yo, didn't you just stab me? He was like, oh, hold on now, didn't you just, so Mark, in my opinion, I think that Mark doesn't know of the third personality, but at the same time, that wall, because remember, he said that there was a wall between him and Steven, and it for whatever reason it fell apart. I think the mother's death is what made the wall fall apart because it re-triggered everything for him. But I think that wall is still up between Mark and the third personality, and that's why. But visually, like I said, we've seen the fact that like this, because there's no other explanation for this. Why is his face all good after, but before it was bloodied up? Just does not make sense. So I think that there are two situations going on, and now this is probably going to prompt people to go back to the last episode and maybe see if we've seen Jake show up there. Maybe he showed up before that. I don't know. But anyway, thank you for that, Didier. Appreciate you. Hold on. What we got? Buzz, what you got? Your cash out. Oh man, thank you, Buzz. Let me go ahead and see what the doggy treats are gonna look like tonight. Cause I think Mrs. E-Man is taking him for a walk right now. I was gonna take him a little later, but looks like he getting up there. Okay. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm gonna also say shout out to Robbie. Thank you for the $9.99 cash app for the pup. Appreciate that. Let's see. Teramato, thank you also so much for the $5 cash app. I appreciate all of y'all. Thank y'all so much. And thank you, Buzz. I appreciate you, sir. Let's see what else we got. I'm trying to go a little more because I know there's more stuff to dig into. There's something else I got. Oh man, there we go. My man Marcus J. Brother. Thank you. You about to make me cry with it, bro. Thank you for the generous one, man. Let's see. I cried twice. 10 out of 10 for this episode. Hit me hard. Working theory is that third sarcophagus is an internal embodiment of Mark's mom. Wow. No Jake this season. Recast T'Challa. Please recast Iron Fist. Give us Blue Marvel. Yes, and yes. The embodiment of Mark's mom, that seems like a stretch because the voice that we heard sounded male last time. And he saw his mom, like in his memories. Mark did anyway. So that was definitely something else. I do think that it is actually Jake, just because we had one sarcophagus was Mark, the second one was Steven. Why wouldn't the third one actually be Jake? So I'm leaning more so towards the Jake as the third sarcophagus. But at the same time, I'm thinking that because of that wall that hasn't been broken, like they're not aware of each other. I don't think Jake knows Mark is a thing, and I don't think Mark knows Jake is a thing. I do have a theory as to why that could be. We'll get to that in a little bit, but yeah, I don't know if we will get Jake this season, even though they've been dropping, like, they might leave it as like the little final surprise at the very end, but at this point, like, we know he exists. Just let it out already. I don't know why they're trying to keep this a secret. Because it's like one of the worst kept secrets of the whole show. But thank you, Marcus. I appreciate you, brother. You always supporting the channel, man. I really appreciate you. And I feel you on that, man. I feel you on the whole, like, just, man, this was heavy. This was for sure heavy. Brian, thank you so much. Jake was outside the mom's funeral drinking from the Flash. Am I wrong? I don't know. I don't know. It could have been Jake. The one thing we know is that it was not Steven. We know it wasn't Steven because Steven came later during that portion. Where do we have it? Where is it? There we go. I don't know. I don't know exactly what evidence we have to suggest that it would be Jake. It is certainly possible. It's definitely possible. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think that there's some relevance with this though. The fact that this is okay. So and I'm so mad I have not thought about this, and I should know this because I studied Judaism for a while. But if I'm not, please correct me. Please correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm not mistaken, in Judaism, there is not necessarily a hell per se. But if that is true, I think if this is whether it's Mark or if it is Jake, it looked like here when he, removed the headpiece, I think that he kind of gave up on his Jewish practices at that moment. And why that's significant is, like I said before, if it is true that the ancestral plane goes wherever the person believes, then I think the only reason why they Mark and Stephen ended up going here to this Egyptian afterlife is because of Stephen, right? So because again, if my theory is true that the afterlife depends on the believer, and if it is true that Mark or Jake gave up on their faith or whatever belief system they were in, then Stephen was the only other one that had extensive knowledge of Egyptian, lore and mythology. So that's why they ended up going to the field of reeds and, going there because of Stephen's extensive knowledge and belief into that. So I think that's what is connected in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, I don't know if you could be right about this being Jake. It could be. I don't know who, maybe Jake is an alcoholic. It could have been Jake at the end of episode 1 where Mark was like, all right, we got to go to Egypt. Or was that 2? I think it was 2, where they had to go to Egypt and he was drinking. Maybe that was Jake, so maybe we're learning that whenever we see Mark or whoever drinking, that's a sign that Jake is there. All I'm saying is right now, we don't have any definitive signs to indicate whether or not it's Jake. But you could be right. You could be right on that. I don't know. Thank you so much. Let's see. Ty, thank you so much for that super sticker. Always coming through with it. Let's go. Appreciate you. My man Mark is back at it. Could Jake be an alter created for brute violence to cope with his time at war? I'll tell you what, with Disney putting out all this content, got us mental health workers are hard pressed out here. So I'm glad you brought this up because I wanted to share with y'all my theory as to I think that we actually saw Jake's origin. I think we actually saw Jake's legit origin. So walk with me here on this. As we found out, later on, we found out that basically Stephen was created by Mark to shield him from a lot of the trauma, right? So we saw here that Mark is harboring a lot of guilt about how he potentially allowed his little brother Roro to pass away. And that caused like this ripple effect where his mom had like all this trauma dealing with her son's death. She's blaming it on young Mark. And that's causing like this huge ripple effect all the way till he's like even, older. And that's clearly a problem, right? But then even when they go back, when Mark is at this point damn near getting terrorized by his mom, as you can see, Mark tried to protect Steven from even noticing this memory, because he didn't know. Steven did not know that his mother was so abusive. Let's not forget, he was constantly on the phone trying to talk to his mom, because that's the relationship that he envisioned in this perfect situation. And that's what Mark wanted Steven to have. He wanted Steven to have this perfectly quiet, sheltered life with no issues. But here's where it doesn't make sense. Mark remembers this. Mark remembers the trauma. This is where Mark created Steven, right? Not only did Mark create Steven here, but there's a problem. Steven does not remember this. Okay? So if Steven was created to protect Mark from the trauma and the abuse of their mother, why doesn't Steven remember the mother's beating? Well, it's got to be because, keep in mind, Mark wanted to protect Steven. Steven was created to protect Mark, but who was going to protect all of them? That's where I think Jake comes in. So I do believe that, I don't think, as you mentioned, Marcus, that Jake was created to protect against, from his issues with war. I think it was created to protect against the violence from his mother. And that's why not only does Mark remember this, but Steven does not remember it. But somebody had to take that beating. Someone had to take it. And I think that Mark also involuntarily created Jake. And this might, and let me be very clear, because I don't want to have no social workers or mental health people coming at me now. I am not saying that because you have multiple personality disorder that, you will become a violent person. But I do think for this specific case that if it's true that Jake was created to take all the physical abuse and protect both Steven and Mark, violence begets violence. It's just like if you abuse a dog, well, guess what? That dog's going to start getting aggressive, and that dog is going to get violent. And I could totally see that Jake was being created to take on all the abuse and keep it protected from everyone else, nobody else. But what did we already see with Jake? Jake is quick to pull that thing. He will pull that thing if need be. So all those other instances, all those other times we've seen people die at the hands of Mark or Steven, and Mark or Steven have no idea how that happened. They're like, yo, how did these people just get straight up murdered? Jake had to do it because Jake is used to violence. Violence is nothing foreign for him. So anyway, my theory right now is that I believe that we just saw the origin story of Jake, even though it feels like right now we just got the origin story of Steven. I think we got both. But that's my that's my theory on it. Y'all let me know what you think. I'm just spitting some stuff out right now. Thank you, Marcus. I appreciate you. Tiana, what's going on? I'm gonna just throw up my church finger and go sit down. Hey, y'all. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate you. Let's see. Here we go, Marcus. What we got? Back at it. Thank you, brother. So who was the more for fire grief line scene? Wanda. Who had the okay. Who had the more grief? Man. I mean, do we even really want to compare this though? Like, I mean, I'll say this. I put it to you like this. The person who suffered the most is not Wanda, and it's definitely not Moon Knight. I'm gonna throw the other one in there. I'm gonna say it's Thor. Thor done lost the most. Thor is the one that's grieved the most. If we, now I know you might want to keep it in the Disney Plus realm. Sorry, that's fine. I'm just saying, don't forget about Thor. Thor has gone through ridiculous, lost his mama, lost his daddy, lost his brother, lost his people, lost his kingship, lost everything. Didn't go for the head. Ooh, Thor has been through it. Okay, but if it was between these two, I mean, how do you quantify that? Like Mark feels responsible for losing his brother. He's not being supported by his mother. He's being abused by his mother. His father is not really being the most supportive. Like, he's trying, but clearly it's not enough, right? Wanda lost her brother, lost her family, lost her man, robot, lost her fake kids, lost her fake husband again. Maybe Wanda, I guess, maybe. For her grief, because she's probably because she's been going through it the longest. But I guess I don't know. That's a hard one. I guess I'll go with Wanda, but that don't even feel fair to compare, man. Like, everybody going through their own thing. Thank you so much, though. Danielle, what you got? Thank you so much. We saw Jake when Mark Steven first got to Egypt. Jake killed those two men on the roof. Yes, I think that's it. Listen, go back even further. I think we saw Jake in the very first episode when he was trying to hold the scarab and keep it away, and then all of a sudden he blanked out and everybody was dead. Like, everyone was dead. They weren't just knocked out; they was dead. There was blood. I think that's when we really first saw Jake. But and I also say that Jake definitely was the one that asked the old girl out at the museum, because Mark wasn't gonna do it because he was married and he don't want to be happy, and Steven ain't got no game. So clearly Jake was out there hollering at folks. But thank you so much for that, Daniel. I appreciate you. Mark is back at it. Thank you so much. Looking closely at the red case, it was a female depiction, though. That was. I don't know. I can't. I don't think that might be more of like the goddess rather than the person entombed. I'm just saying I wouldn't put money that it's a female in that sarcophagus that talks like a man. Like, that would be too much. That's too many curveballs that just don't add up. It don't add up to me. But thank you for that, Marcus. Appreciate you. Tara Wet. What, there we go. Thank you so much. Braid oil. I like what Steven said about being a stress ball. Yeah, I mean, he did. I mean, Mark did kind of create him to be like, I just need you to be there to kind of make me feel better. So he had a good point. He sees that he was created out of necessity to protect Mark. As for Jewish afterlife belief, they do talk about Sheol, which is like hell. Yes, okay. I couldn't remember, because I know in the Jewish belief, death is considered a transition, like a separation, I should say. So, like, you have that one death of the soul spirit leaving, transferring the body, or separating from the body. But I'm not gonna act like I haven't brushed up on it in years, so I don't want to act like I know. But thank you for that. Appreciate you. Let's see. Famous Jay, what you got? This Mark Steven Jake thing is confusing, as do I. How can a made-up person have a heart to weigh? Where is Mr. Glass to explain all of this to me? I think the only reason why Steven even has a heart to weigh is because of, again, the person's belief. I think if what Terouette was saying is true, like having an untethered consciousness, well, that means that even though we're talking about going to an afterlife, there's still an aspect of one's mind that is a part of that equation. right? So, if we wanted to get technical with it, maybe the afterlife is a physical place, right? Maybe it's a physical place, but you can't get to that physical place without your consciousness, right? And the consciousness has to go from your body to that physical place. But the problem is, if it is dependent on one's consciousness, well, Mark has got a broken consciousness, maybe three, maybe three. So if it's part of a consciousness that's already broken, and the heart is probably more so representative of that person's being, I think that's where you're getting the fact that Steven has a heart too. Keep in mind, his heart is also incomplete, probably because he's made up. But just because he's made up doesn't make him any less real to Mark's consciousness. I don't know if that makes sense. This is the only way I can wrap my mind around all this fictional stuff. So if it helps you, maybe it does. I don't know. I don't know. So thank you, Famous Jay, for that. I hope that maybe kind of sort of explained it. Appreciate you either way. Let's see. Mr. C, what you got? I'm thinking Khonshu forged the Jake personality, like he created it to get Mark to do what he hesitates to do. Steven suspects Khonshu is grimy. So yes. So here's the thing. Khonshu does have an ulterior motive, at least in the comics. Now his motives change, kind of, sort of, like sometimes. Now here, okay, let me pull it up. Where is it at? I don't know if Khonshu has done anything, but the closest that we have that Khonshu might have played a role some way, somehow, was in the memory. And that's with this little bird skeleton, right? So it is possible. I believe in the comics, it did kind of confirm this, that Khonshu had been with Mark, or at least been following Mark, ever since he was like 12 years old, ever since he was a kid. So and I believe we saw that with the birthday cake when he turned 12. I think that's when his multiple personality disorder started. So it is possible. And keep in mind, when Khonshu saw Mark in here and he was like, "Oh, such a waste." What did he say? He said, like, "Your mind is broken and you would make a great candidate." And what else did he say after that? Fascinating. He found it fascinating that Mark's brain, that his mind was broken. Go back to what Harrow said earlier. Did Khonshu want you because that he could break your mind, or because it was already broken? It's all these different things. So Khonshu definitely wants Mark for different purposes, but at the same time, I don't know how active of a role Khonshu played. Like, I don't know if Khonshu, did something. Oh, hold on, wait a minute. Khonshu can't do anything unless he has an avatar, right? Except Khonshu can kind of sort of affect the physical environment without an avatar. Remember, like, he can make the wind blow, or shake things up. It would be interesting if they show, I don't think they will, but it would be interesting if they show Khonshu shake things up a little bit, cause Mark's brother to slip and fall and die or something, and then that trauma triggers his multiple, maybe I don't know. For all I know, it could also just mean that Khonshu was just being an observer, like, ooh, I like that person, I'm gonna wait and see how they go, but I like that candidate. Maybe it's that. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think, though. But one way or another, Khonshu is shady. Khonshu is shady. Okay. Don't let him fool. Don't let that bird be fool y'all now. Hold on. We got some other ones here. Oh man, Terrence, thank you, brother, so much for the $5 cash app for free Kobe. We will get that to him. Alfred, thank you so much for the $10 cash app for you love the videos. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And Angela, thank you so much. I'm gonna send some love right back for the $5 cash app. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate y'all so much for the support. For real, for real. Ty, my good. Hey, this ain't no super sticker. You got a comment now. Let's go, Ty. What's going on? Thank you so much. I think Jake is Khonshu's personality that he imprinted on Mark. He did choose Mark for a reason because he was broken. I have a whole theory too long to type in here. That is interesting. Now, I don't know if we can say that Jake is Khonshu's personality because we haven't seen the gods have that level of power, at least not yet. But, and keep in mind, the gods can't even like inhabit people unless they're invited. It's almost like vampire rules. Like, I can't come into your house unless you invite me in. So that's why he kept telling Mark, like, yo, don't you accept my offer? Like, you want this, right? Don't you want to be this fist of vengeance? You know, and it wasn't until Mark said yes that okay, now I can come in. But he definitely I agree with you. He definitely chose Mark because Mark was broken, and that definitely played a part in allowing Khonshu to take advantage. Now, whether or not Khonshu knows about Jake, that's a different story. I think he does because Jake is certainly I think Jake has his own room of bodies. Do we have that? Let me see. I think I do. Y'all remember earlier we saw the little cafeteria bodies or whatever. But here's the thing. These bodies are for Mark. These are Mark's body count. Okay, so Mark killed these people because he remembered that. However, if it is true that Jake also kills people and Steven and Mark don't remember it, how big of a room would Jake's room be? And clearly, this would definitely be pleasing to Khonshu because Khonshu need him a killer. Khonshu was like, yo, if Steven ain't, we don't even like Steven because he's stupid. Well, he's smart, but we don't like him like that. Mark, sometimes he'll fight it, but Jake, Khonshu probably be looking like Birdman, pun intended, and just rubbing his hands like, oh yes, go to work, my Moon Knight. You know, so that could be the case. That could be the case. Thank you so much, Ty. I appreciate you. Let's go. Terremoto, what you got? I know it's off topic, but somebody forgot to tell Bad Bunny that he wouldn't be in the MCU being in a Sony crap movie. Ah, man, that we're gonna talk about Sony's movie decisions on Friday during the Friday live chat. Yeah, I agree with you, but we'll talk about that on Friday. I don't want that kind of stress right now. I don't want it. But thank you, brother. Appreciate you. MJ, what you got? Don't forget that Peter Parker Spider-Man lost a lot too. Facts. He lost his mentor, Iron Man, Tony Stark. He lost Aunt May and his best friend Ned and his girl MJ and Uncle Ben, you know, and I don't know if he was old enough to remember he lost his parents. But yes, you're right. He did lose all of them as well. The only difference though is that you know, throughout his life, he's always had coping mechanisms or support to deal with it. Right now, he's on his own. But prior to that, you know, when his uncle died, Aunt May was there. When Iron Man died, Happy and everybody else was there. You know, so like that's kind of unlike Wanda. Like when everybody died for Wanda, you know, she had her brother. Wasn't nobody there really there for her when her brother died, and you know, even after like when Vision died, it was only Hawkeye that was there. Just Hawkeye. That was it. You know, and then after that, barely anybody was there. Now Monica tried to help her, but she pushed everybody away. But you know, for Mark's really Mark's had nothing. You know, Mark has had no one to really talk to except, well, I guess himself. But even then, he ain't talk about it to deal with his issues. And Thor, I would say, Thor has always tried to suppress everything. When everybody like around him died, he just kept putting on a brave face, laughed it off with comedy or humor. Um, but I don't even think Thor is really, really grieved, outside of being depressed and, eating and getting overweight. But again, like, this ain't like the suffering Olympics. So we ain't gotta, I don't know. It just feels weird, like who had it worse. I don't know. I don't know. Thank you for that. Appreciate that comment. Pamela, what you got? Thank you so much. I think Layla knows Jake because when they were in they were in the market, she wasn't phased by his different accent. You know what? So I agree that she wasn't phased. I don't know if she picked up on whether that was Jake or not. I don't think she did know about Steven. Now here's the difference though. Mark did tell or at least share with her that he had different aliases, right? So in the past, he would have different aliases. So for all we know, maybe Mark used that alias, the Jake alias, with Layla, and I don't know, like, because even during that little segment in the market, it didn't last very long. I mean, even some people in the audience probably didn't even catch the fact that he kind of switched real fast. So I don't know if she knows Jake, but I do think that she's encountered Jake and probably just didn't know it. Probably just didn't know it. But thank you so much, Pamela. I appreciate you. All right, we coming up close. We almost at our hour. We are at our hour mark. Didier, what you got? Moon Knight, Severance. What up with all these multiple personality shows? Let me tell you something. First of all, I finally finished Severance. That show is lit. I love Severance. Severance is a good show. I think I put on what did I say on Twitter? I think it's Office Space meets Black Mirror, and it is so original, so good. I still put From slightly above Severance. I still got From a little bit above that, but Severance, man, that was a good show. That's a good show, especially if you've worked in a corporate office setting before. Oh God, I know some severed people. I just say that. I know some people that get real excited over the new handbags from work. Ugh. Anyway, thank you for that. Appreciate you. Let's see. We got Alejandro in here. Thank you so much. Sorry if you already touched on this. But didn't Steven walk away in the street and there were two marks talking to each other? I thought that was Jake. No. Let's see, talking in the street. Are you talking about this scene here? Because this was, if you're talking about this scene in the street, this was either Mark or Jake. We don't know. I mean, maybe it's Jake because the only common thread here is that they're drinking liquor. I don't think we've seen Mark drink liquor, but if this was whoever it was, whether this was Mark or Jake, we do find out that Steven comes out here. And the two Mark and Stevens that were watching this, keep in mind, they are stepping into their own memories. So they're stepping into Mark's memories. So they're watching Mark's memories, and they just saw, maybe they saw Jake and they don't know it, but they just saw Steven not be aware of their mother's funeral. So or Shiva, I believe they called it. So um yeah, it's hard to say, but maybe it was Jake. Maybe. I mean, we're gonna have to wait for more confirmation. I think Jake is absolutely a good theory to work off of, but we still need, I guess they still need to confirm a little bit more. Kimmy J, thank you so much. So does Jake have his own version of the Moon Knight suit? That is a fantastic question. He might, he might, um, and we just haven't seen it. I would love to see what other version, like does he take on the ceremonial robe or does he take on like a whole new persona? Like, I don't know. And I'm hoping the final episode shows us more of Jake, because I remember in a lot of the trailers they showed us scenes from familiar things that have happened, but we didn't see it in the show yet. For example, we saw in some of the Disney Plus trailers the scene where Mark was falling. You remember, like, when he woke up, or when Steven woke up in that weird place, and he was getting chased by the gunman and stuff. The trailer shows you where he was falling from that high window. That could have been Jake right before that. So maybe they'll fill in those gaps for us, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't know what they about to do in these last couple episodes, but it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. Thank you, Kimmy. Alib, thank you so much. Can we talk about how weak his father was? Damn, bro. See, here we go. This is, yeah. I mean, it sucks. I'll give him this. He tried. I'll give him that. He tried. Um, but a lot of times in abusive relationships, you know what? Let me not even say a lot of times. I'll just um I think, and I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a professional, so this is just my personal opinion. I think that when you have a situation where you have an abuser in the household, usually you're going to also have an enabler. And the enabler is probably going to be someone very passive aggressive, whereas they will just allow these things to happen. They don't agree with it, they don't like it, but they don't have the tools to confront it or to stop it. So I think that, that is also an issue that needs to be dealt with, right? Like, clearly the mom never really dealt and processed the son's passing. She what is that? She projected and deflected her pain and grief onto Mark. And the father, unfortunately, he's like, okay, well, let me just try and keep the peace. Let me just try and keep the order around the house. Like I'm pretty sure he was. I mean, you heard him making excuses for his wife. She just doesn't feel good. She's not there. She's not, making excuses, but at the same time trying to hold things together the best way he can, right? And this is one of those reasons why I tell y'all, like, this is why therapy is important. Every single person in this family needed therapy. Mama needed therapy to deal with her anger issues, to deal with her processing of grief and everything. Mark needed his issues because clearly he was carrying a whole lot of guilt for what happened with his brother. And the dad needed some therapy too, because you can't just sit here and be all this, this passive aggressive and let all this stuff happen. I mean, it's highly unlikely that um the dad was unaware of the physical abuse that was going on. He probably just turned a blind eye. It's no different, and we've seen stuff like this, right? With when the gender roles are reversed, right? Where let's say the man is the physical abuser in the house or whatever. Maybe he's beating on the wife, maybe he's beating on the kids, and the wife is just sitting there turning a blind eye. Again, she don't like it, she don't want it to happen, but she doesn't have the tools or the resources to make it stop or to know how to get out of that. But I think in this case we saw a reverse situation and a different circumstance, of course, where it's the mother that's the abuser, the father who is the enabler, and the son, who's the victim here. So um I'm not the best person. Like I said, this whole episode hit way too close for me. So I'm not going to pass too much judgment. I think everybody here needed help. I'm just going to leave it at that. I think everybody needed help. So I'm not going to rag on the dad too much. I'm not going to rag on the mom or nothing like that. I think every single one of them needed professional help, because everybody was trying to do the best they could, even if it didn't come about with the best results. So Thank you, Ali. Appreciate that. Really, really a whole lot. Thank you so much. My man Mark is back at it. I don't know if I missed this in the beginning, but Boss kin to Khonshu was hinted with the ancestral realm. Would this mean the Panther and Moon Knight might operate as kin as well? So in a way, right? So it wasn't Khonshu and Boss that were related. It was Hathor and Boss. They were kind of connected because Hathor is Sekhmet. So they're like one and the same, right? So, but at the end of the day, the Egyptian mythology established that they're all related because they all descend from Ra, the sun god. So one way or another, they're all like siblings in some way, shape, or form. Now, I don't know how these siblings get down, because Hathor was talking about something like, "Oh yeah, Conchi was enjoying my music." The other a little while ago, we good friends. I'm like, wait a minute now. Like, I thought y'all was sisters and brothers. Like, what is going on? I don't know how these guys get down. They when in the Ennead, do as the Ennead, I guess. But no, like if that is the case, maybe we have not gotten a direct connection with Bast to Khonshu, but we do have Bast to Hathor and Hathor to Khonshu. So that could be the degree of separation that gives us a little bit of connection to them. But again, we're gonna have to wait because Marvel's changing how a lot of this stuff works. They've already changed the traditional Egyptian mythology to fit their own thing. So I don't know if they're changing that or not. But yeah, we have to wait. And hey, Bast is supposed to show up in Thor 4. So we'll wait and see if they give us some more confirmation. I don't know. Thank you so much. Tiana, thank you so much. Okay, come on now. I thought you had the church finger up though. All right. I like your idea of Khonshu choosing Mark from the start. But what if it's based why his banishment from the gods? Same type of trauma in a sense. I don't think Jake exists. Oh, why present the scale with two hearts and not three? I'm glad you mentioned that. So I think, let me go work backwards here. I think the reason why we got that is because both I think they're having two different journeys. So, in other words, Mark and Steven are going on their journey, right? But we know that this psych ward is kind of sort of like a purgatory of sorts. It's a middle place. I strongly believe that this is Jake, mainly because once we come back out of his memories or whatever, and we come back to purgatory, we get back to Mark. And Mark does not have the bloody stuff or anything that was there. And again, go back to this part in the beginning. He's talking very different. He talks almost with like a New York accent. Personally, I'm not saying I don't think it was like the best of accents, but he's trying. Okay. So he's talking very differently than how Mark talks. And I think that they are on two separate journeys. I think that in this case, Jake is having his own. Because here's the thing, he has to be in purgatory because he's part of the body that just got shot. There ain't nowhere to go. He's got to be in that middle place. So I think Jake is going through his own journey. And I think episode 6 will probably give us Jake's journey from the very beginning. I think we're gonna do a big old rewind and fast forward through Jake's story. So I think Jake is kind of going through his own little, like he has his own meeting with Harrow. He's having his own session or whatever in this asylum. But at the same time, you also got Mark and Steven doing the same thing. So I think that's what's going on because again, I don't know how else you want to explain the fact that we have him here talking different, clearly bruised up and cut, and then you jump back here and he's perfectly fine. But we know that this is Mark, and he jumps right into being Steven because as we saw later, Steven was confronted with calling his mom, and that's where he learned that his mom clearly was dead. But going back to what you said, the banishment from the gods thing. So the banishment, I believe, I think it's a lot simpler than that. I think they kind of mentioned it in episode 3. they don't like, the gods do not like meddling in human affairs. They just don't do it. This was a decision that they all made. And I believe this is one of the reasons why Amet got banished and entombed, because she was killing people before their time, which is a whole other concept. She was killing folks, which is meddling in human affairs. So the guys was like, yo, you need to chill with that. You out of here. So they banished Amet, and I think they banished Khonshu because, as they said, he nearly exposed them to the world. For whatever reason, the guys just did not want to be exposed. But Khonshu was out here just acting up. And of course, he's got his avatar with, all these weapons and the capes and everything. Like, people see the suit, so throughout time, Khonshu was like, whatever, my avatar is gonna wild out and do what I want them to do, while the other guys try to be low key with it. They're like, yo, all we want our avatars to do is just watch and observe. That's it. And do what we want. That's it. But you got Khonshu out here being like, yeah, I'm Moon Knight. And having people just wilding out, fighting crime, killing folks. That's more of the interference that they don't like. So I think that is the primary reason why Khonshu got banished. And you saw why they banished him later. It was like, yo, we don't want you exposing our existence to the world. And he was like, well, wax on, wax off. And he was gone after that. So but thank you so much for that comment. I really, really appreciate it. Eric, what's going on? It's Jake that was taking those A whoopings from dear old mom and not Steven. Yeah, I agree. I think that's exactly what happened. But hopefully, we're gonna get some more answers sometime soon. Travis, thank you so much. In this episode, it is said that Mark is from Chicago. So I think that sounds more like a Bridgeport accent. It could be. I think, yeah. They said the asylum was in Chicago. So yeah, I guess I wasn't tripping too much on that, but you could be right. But thank you so much for that. Let's see. Did we miss anything? Let me go through this just to make sure. So we got Terouette. She's like ushering everybody in. She introduced the concept of the various afterlives that we got in the MCU. I strongly believe that this is Jake, especially given his tendency for violence. Like, that was his very, very first reaction. And then we have, the boat in the Duat, where Terouette gets to usher people to the afterlife. Let's see, she had to weigh their hearts. And as she weighed their hearts, there was some inner conflict. But that was until they can resolve things and get it together. Mark was a little bogus here, talking about like, let's kill the hippo. I thought that was a little bogus. But as they go through their memories, we see that Mark has got a pretty extensive body count of everybody that he has killed, and he remembers every single one of them. We saw the little brother as part of the memories. He was still showing up. We learned the sad truth that apparently, Mark at least blames himself for his brother's death. We still don't know if Mark actually killed him or if he allowed him. That we don't know. We don't know if Khonshu had something to do with it, but I do believe that there's some strong evidence with this right here, because this is pretty random. Why would you throw this dead bird head, right here, if that didn't have to do with Khonshu? I think that this just means that Khonshu was present at the very least. We don't know if he was active. We just know he was present. But after the death, of course, that took a definite toll on Mark's mother. She blamed Mark for the brother's death. The father tried, he tried to do what he could do to keep things together, but the mom was just still laying it on thick. Clearly, I think she was also drinking, if that is liquor there. So she was still drinking. This has gone on for years and years and years, because clearly Mark has grown up and he just had enough. He had to leave. The dad tried to get him to stay, but that wasn't happening. We go back to more of Mark's memories, which is more of like his origin story from the comics. His partner Bushman, who was kind of like the Killmonger type, he basically killed everybody because he didn't want any witnesses. And this is while Mark was a mercenary, because he got discharged from the military. um, and couldn't find work. After being shot, he was about to kill himself, but Moon Knight said, or I'm sorry, Khonshu said, not now. I need you to become my new Moon Knight. And as they are coming together and trying to come, Mark has to deal with all of this stuff. He doesn't really want to play around, but he gets sapped right back to Harrow to deal with his conflicts and his issues. And then we get the flashback once again. And this is Steven's origin. This is what Mark was trying to protect Steven from even learning about, that he was a figment of his imagination, or he was a creation of his imagination, again, to protect himself from his mother, from all those butt whoopings. And as I mentioned before, I believe that this is where Jake was created, because Steven did not remember any of this. He did not remember his mother beating him or being abusive at all. So Mark didn't want to deal with it. Steven doesn't remember it. So I think the logical conclusion is that Jake, or a third personality, took all those beatings so that those two didn't have to. So we kind of go back to the asylum, and Steven learns that his mother actually is dead. So he's been talking to his dead mother, or, on the phone all this time. They go back to the Shiva, or his mother's funeral. That could be Jake. We don't know. Or it could be Mark. Either way, we don't know if maybe he gave up on his religion here. We don't know. But one way or another, the trauma of the mother's passing. My theory is that is what broke down the wall between Mark and Steven. And that's where we saw Steven come in, and he started talking to his mom and stuff like that. But once they got close to Osiris, and this is the gate, this was the only gate, I believe, that either can give them resurrection or it can bring them to the field of reeds. The Duat had to attack, and it was like Walking Dead all over again. Steven, was a goon, and he went and saved Mark. Unfortunately, he had to make the big sacrifice. That's where he ended up being lost in the sand forever, or frozen forever. We don't know if he's actually dead, or again, maybe this is just, we don't know. Like, maybe he's gone forever, maybe not. We'll find out. But the show concludes with Mark finding himself in the field of reeds. Now, what this means, we don't know. But this, as you can see, this is very, very similar to the ancestral plane from Black Panther. This was again, this is their version of the afterlife. Who's there? What's there? How's he gonna get out of there? Your guess is as good as mine. No, I do have a guess. I think, and I gotta research this, so maybe don't quote me on this, but I think because she said, Terouette said that going through the gate is the only way, and it was only Osiris that could do it. I think that because there is a god of resurrection, like, and I think it's Osiris. I thought it was Horus, but it could be Osiris too. I think while he's there, one of the gods is gonna, help him out. How they're gonna help him out, I don't know. Keep in mind, Terouette did say earlier that she could send them back, but she would be sending them back to a dead body. So the question is, if Mark meets Osiris or somebody else in this field of reeds, place, is that gonna mean something? Like, is does that heal his body? Like, what? I don't know. Y'all guess as good as mine. Let me know what y'all think. All right, so that was a quick recap. Eden, let's go. We about to wrap up here. Hey man, the ladies from Philly, Miami, and Cleveland are coming for Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness, and they choose chaos. Chicago is going to fall. Save the children and Kobe. Go Sixers. I know I'm a little concerned. I think the Mod Squad coming. I saw a couple other people. I saw some other folks from St. Louis that wanted to come. So I'm about to, like, over the weekend, I'm gonna go over all the seats and everything, and if there's any openings, I'll be opening up to some people as well. But it's going down. It is going down. These watch parties are always a good time. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait to meet some of y'all that are coming out. And just in case, if I know some people are not able to make it, we will probably do another one for Thor 4. So when Thor Love and Thunder comes out, more than likely we're gonna do one for that one in the summertime. So that should be a good time as well. I don't know about Black Panther, but that's another story. That's TBA. Yeah, probably down. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, thank you so much, Eden. David, thank you so much for that. Jake always wearing a black ball cap, even the episodes when he's running on the roof, even though he lost his ball cap, he chased the guys down, and the whole time fighting the guys until he killed the last guy. Then Mark took over. I think that is probably exactly what happened. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right on that. I mean, Jake, I think is a killer. Like he is the one that does the dirty work. He does the stuff that, I mean, if Steven's on one end of the spectrum and Mark is in the middle, Jake is over here. Like, yo, I mean, I'll take the beatings for y'all. I'll kill for y'all. Like, I'll do the stuff that don't nobody want to do. He will get his hands dirty. And it's very possible that Marvel might be reinventing his character too. They might be giving him a slightly different angle because even in the comics, Steven was supposedly like a millionaire, billionaire person or whatever. And they changed that. They made him just a little art person, So we'll see. I think they about to make Jake a whole goon. A whole goon. Terawet's braid oil. Thank you so much. Here's who would have made a great voice for Conchu, Mr. Keith David, the pastor from Greenleaf. Come on now. That like I don't even think that's Goliath. That's Goliath. That was my first real interaction with the legendary Keith David. It's so funny. Keith David, his voice is so legendary that like he don't even have to change it. A lot of voice actors, they'll go in and they'll be like, oh, like Phil Lamar, like he'll change his voice and go from this or whatever. Keith David just walk up into the booth and spit, and that's it. That's it. And it's him. You don't care if it sounds familiar. You like, yo, that's Keith David. Like, yo, he just got that voice that, like, man, like it's undeniable. But I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I don't know how you can't go wrong with him. So yes, yes, and yes. Angel Green, thank you so much for the super sticker. I really appreciate that. Um, Okay, but that is all we have for today. Woo wee! Oh man, I got to go through some of y'all comments because I saw y'all was bringing up some good points here. And yeah, hey, thank y'all so much. This is definitely the heaviest episode. For a lot of reasons, I think a lot of people will agree that that this was a heavy one, right? So here's the point. What are we gonna give this? What are we giving it for a rating? Scale from 1 to 10. Let me know how you're feeling about this episode. If I had to give it a rating, I think I'm gonna go with a 9. I'm gonna go with a 9. Because and my reason doesn't have to be y'all reason, but this, like I said, because this touched close to me. Um, this is actually what you want in art, because whether it's a movie, whether it's a play, whether it's a TV show, that's all art, right? And art is supposed to move you. You know, if you watch something and you don't feel nothing, if you watch something and you bored or whatever, then the art did not resonate with you, then the art failed at moving you. Um if a horror movie scares you, it's a good scare. It's a good horror, probably. If a comedy made you laugh, then yeah, that's it's a good comedy. But if a drama moves you emotionally, resonates with you, makes you empathize, feel something, then it's a good drama. And damn it, this was a pretty good drama to me. So I think I'm gonna give it a 9. Um, and yeah, I'm comfortable with that. I'm comfortable with that. So let's see where y'all are at with it. And of course, this is gonna vary because everybody, some people gonna connect with it, some not. So let's see where we at. So we got an 8, 10, 6, 10, 7, 8, 3, 9.9, 6.5, 10, 8.5, 9, 10, 7, 6, 9, 9, 8, 9.5, 8. Okay, 7.5, 8.5, 10. Yeah, tissues had, yeah, 7, 9, 9, 10. Okay, okay, 9.5. 9, 10, 9, 9. Okay, all right, all right. Uh Eden, what are you doing? 9.758. Let's see, 8.5, 9, 8.5, 9. Okay, okay, cool, cool. So yeah, I mean, that's good. That's good. Like I think um that was gonna be inevitable. I don't think anybody was gonna be like, this was totally terrible or this was really great. Like I thought there was gonna be a mixture because, like I said, drama is gonna hit people differently. Because we all coming from different experiences and different circumstances. Some of us um didn't have to go through certain things that we can connect with this. So, but anyway, y'all, thank y'all so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Thank you for all of this. If y'all still have questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. These are things that I can marinate on. Maybe if I need to explain it later, or I can think about it now, and then next week we could talk about it. Feel free to leave those as well. Stay tuned for Friday. There is a lot of news from Friday that we definitely need to cover. A lot of stuff has been happening. A lot of little things have been going on. So yeah, we will definitely do that. Make sure y'all subscribe if you have not subscribed, if you enjoy the content. And yeah, I mean, y'all know the routine, y'all. So make sure y'all go ahead, wash your hands, wash your butts, and be safe out there, y'all. I will see y'all Friday. All right, peace.